Sarah got a $20,000 raise last year. Kevin didn't get one. They work at the same company, same floor, same building. They've been friends for 6 years. And when Sarah got the news, Kevin congratulated her and meant it. He thought she'd finally gotten what she deserved. He had no idea that 5 years from now, Kevin would have $40,000 more in net worth than Sarah. Not because Kevin secretly invested brilliantly, not because something went wrong for Sarah, but because of something that happened quietly, automatically, and invisibly the moment that offer letter landed in her inbox. Most people think of a raise as the finish line, the thing you work toward, the thing that fixes the budget problems, the thing that finally gives you room to breathe. And for about 90 days, it does. Then something happens that nobody warns you about and almost nobody notices in real time. Your life silently, gradually, completely reorganizes itself around the new number. Not because you made bad decisions, because you made completely reasonable ones, one at a time. And that reorganization is the trap. Let's build the full picture. Sarah is 31 years old. Before the raise, she earns $65,000 a year. She rents a decent one-bedroom apartment for $1,400 a month, drives a paid-off Honda she bought 4 years ago, contributes 6% to her 401k to get the employer match, and has about $400 left over at the end of most months that vaguely drifts toward savings but doesn't always make it. She is, by her own description, doing okay, not killing it, not struggling. Okay, Kevin earns the same $65,000. His setup looks almost identical. Similar apartment, similar car, similar 401k contribution, similar end-of-month remainder. Two people in genuinely comparable financial positions. Both of them feel the low-level hum of financial friction that most people in their early 30s carry around without really naming it. There's always a little less breathing room than you'd like. There's always a reason this month wasn't the month you got ahead. Then Sarah gets the raise. $85,000, a $20,000 jump. In a single conversation, her gross annual income increases by 31%. That night, she does the math on her phone. $20,000 more per year, that's roughly $1,660 more per month gross. After federal and state taxes and payroll deductions, she'll net somewhere around $1,100 more per month. $1,100 every month. She texts Kevin. He sends back a string of fire emojis. They go out to dinner to celebrate, and she picks up the tab. It feels right. She can afford it now. Here is where the story splits. Not in one dramatic moment. In a series of moments so individually reasonable that no single one of them feels like a mistake. Month 2, after the raise. Sarah's lease is up. She's been in her current apartment for 2 years and she likes it fine, but the building is old, the gym is a joke, and she has been eyeing a newer complex 6 blocks away. Before the raise, she talked herself out of it every time. She couldn't justify the extra $350 a month for something that was essentially just nicer. Now she can justify it. She has $1,100 more coming in. $350 of it goes to a better apartment. That leaves $750. She signs the new lease feeling like an adult who is finally living appropriately for her career. Month 3. Her car has been fine, but it's 4 years old and the check engine light came on last week. And when she took it to the mechanic, he gave her a list of things that would eventually need attention. Before the raise, she would have paid for the most urgent fix and kept driving. Now, she starts looking at cars. Not anything crazy, just a newer crossover. Something reliable, something that fits where she is now professionally. She finds a good deal, $399 a month on a 3-year lease. Before the raise, she never would have taken on a car payment. Now it makes sense. She has room for it. She still has $350 left over from her raise after the apartment. Month 4, her wardrobe. She has been wearing the same rotation of work clothes for 2 years. Some of them are starting to look worn, and now that she's in a more senior role, she wants to show up differently. She spends $600 over 2 months upgrading her professional wardrobe. Not extravagant, practical. She is investing in how she presents herself at work. That's a real thing. Nobody can tell her that's wrong. Month 5, the gym. Her new apartment has a gym, but it's crowded in the morning. And she found a boutique fitness studio 3 blocks from her office. $140 a month. She goes 4 times a week. This is not indulgence. This is mental health. This is performance. She is a better employee when she exercises consistently. The math on that is easy. Month 6, subscriptions. She upgraded her streaming package, added a meal kit service because cooking from scratch takes time she no longer wants to spend, and started a wine subscription that she found through an ad and justified as something she would have anyway. $80 a month combined, roughly. Now let's add it up. New apartment, $350 more per month. Car lease, $399 per month. Wardrobe, amortized at about $50 a month. Boutique gym, $140 per month. Subscriptions and upgrades, $80 per month. Total new monthly spend, generated by the raise, $1,019 per month. Her raise netted her approximately $1,100 per month after taxes. She has, within 6 months of a $20,000 raise, consumed 93% of it through completely reasonable, individually justifiable decisions. She has $81 more per month than she did before the raise, and she feels like she is finally living the life that matches her career. She does not feel like she made a mistake, because she didn't make a mistake. She made 11 small, reasonable choices that together became a trap. This is lifestyle creep, and it is the most effective wealth killer that has ever existed precisely because it doesn't feel like anything is going wrong. There is no crisis. There is no reckless decision. There is no moment where you look in the mirror and think, I have made a terrible error. There's only the quiet disappearance of money that should have changed your financial trajectory and instead changed your monthly expenses. Kevin, meanwhile, got no raise. His $65,000 stayed $65,000. His apartment stayed the same. His car stayed paid off. His gym membership was the $29 one at the franchise place down the street. He was not thriving. He was not comfortable. He was doing okay, same as before. And here's the thing about doing okay when you're also not doing anything stupid with your money. The money that stays in your account grows. Kevin, bored on a Tuesday, read something about index funds. Not because he's a finance guy, because his phone served him an article and he had nothing else to do. He opened a brokerage account that night and started putting $300 a month into a total market index fund. He didn't tell anyone. It didn't feel like a big deal. It was $300. He'd been spending more than that on nothing. Let's run the 5-year numbers. Over 5 years, Sarah's effective savings rate barely moved. Before the raise, she was saving roughly $400 a month in various forms. After the raise, her lifestyle expanded to absorb $1,100 of the $1,100 net increase. Her savings remains at roughly $400 a month. 5 years of $400 a month at 8% annual return generates approximately $29,000. Her 401k also grew. Her 6% contribution on the new salary is $5,100 per year versus $3,900 on the old salary. The increase in 401k contributions is meaningful and real. Over 5 years with employer match and compound growth, that difference adds roughly $12,000 to $18,000 to her retirement account balance compared to if she'd stayed at the old salary. So total wealth added by the raise in year 1 through 5 in real terms is somewhere between $40,000 and $50,000. Not nothing, but far less than a $20,000 annual raise would theoretically generate. Kevin, over the same 5 years, no raise, no additional income. But $300 a month consistently invested plus his original 401k contributions at the same rate as before. His $300 a month in the brokerage account over 5 years at 8% annual return generates approximately $22,000. His 401k at 6% of $65,000 with employer match over 5 years generates a similar base to what Sarah had before her raise. Kevin's total incremental wealth over 5 years from the discipline of not expanding his lifestyle is approximately $20,000 to $25,000 from the brokerage alone. When you add up total net worth, including both retirement and liquid accounts, Sarah is ahead. She did get a raise and her 401k contributions did increase, but the gap between them is roughly $40,000 smaller than it should be given that Sarah earned $20,000 more per year for 5 years. She should be $100,000 ahead in total earnings. In real spendable net worth, she is maybe $60,000 ahead. The raise cost her $40,000, not in one bill, in 11 small, reasonable choices. Here is the version of this story that most people never get to see because most people never run these numbers on themselves. What if Sarah had done one thing differently? What if the week she got the raise, before the lease renewal, before the car research, before any of it, she had redirected $500 of her $1,100 monthly net increase into automatic investment? Not all of it, half of it. She still would have had $600 a month to spend on a nicer life. She still could have upgraded the apartment or taken the car lease or done the gym. Just not all of them. Just not quite all of them. $500 a month invested automatically for 5 years at 8% annual return generates approximately $36,000. Add that to what she was already building, and Sarah's 5-year net worth picture is dramatically different. She would have been, in real numbers, $80,000 to $90,000 ahead of Kevin by year 5. Not because she denied herself anything meaningful, because she captured half the raise before her lifestyle could find it. This is the principle that separates people who build wealth on moderate incomes from people who earn significant money and always feel slightly behind. The principle is not complicated. It sounds almost embarrassingly simple. Every raise you get, invest half before you spend any of it. Not after you've decided what you need. Before. Because the research on this is unambiguous. If the money is there, humans spend it. Not because we're irresponsible, because we are wired to normalize our circumstances and then optimize within them. If your circumstances include $1,100 more per month, your brain will find $1,100 worth of improvements to make to your life. It will do this automatically. It will feel rational at every step, and it will consume the entire raise without you ever making what feels like a mistake. The automatic investment removes the decision from the human brain entirely. The 500 goes before you see it, before you account for it, before your lifestyle has any chance to incorporate it. What your lifestyle never sees, your lifestyle never misses. This is not a willpower strategy. It is a system design strategy. Willpower runs out. Systems don't. There is a second dimension to the salary trap that almost nobody talks about. Taxes. When Sarah's salary went from $65,000 to $85,000, she did not simply get more money. She got more money at a higher marginal rate. The $20,000 increase was not taxed at the same rate as the first $65,000. The dollars from $65,000 to $85,000 were pushed into a higher marginal bracket than the dollars before them. Depending on her state, Sarah's marginal rate on those incremental dollars could be anywhere from 30 to 40% combined federal and state. Her effective raise in net dollars was not $20,000. It was somewhere between $12,000 and $14,000, depending on her location and deductions. She planned her lifestyle upgrade around a number that was already wrong before she spent a dollar. This surprises people every time. You negotiate hard for a $20,000 raise, you celebrate a $20,000 raise, and you budget based on a $20,000 raise. But you actually received $12,000 to $14,000. The rest went to the government. This does not mean raises are bad. It means you should calculate your actual net increase before you spend any of it. Pull up a take-home pay calculator, put in your new salary, put in your old salary, subtract. That is your real raise. Budget your lifestyle upgrade against that number, not the gross. There is a third dimension, opportunity cost. Every dollar that Sarah spent upgrading her life in year 1 was not just $1 gone. It was $1 plus everything that dollar would have compounded into over the next 20, 30 years. A dollar invested at 31 in an 8% annual return environment becomes roughly $10 by the time she is 62, which means every $100 of monthly lifestyle creep is not $100. It is $1,000 of retirement wealth. Every $350 apartment upgrade is not $350. It is, compounded over 30 years, approximately $3,500 of wealth that will not exist. The boutique gym is not $140 a month. It is $1,400 of future net worth per month. The lifestyle creep is not the price you see. It is 10 times the price you see, compounded quietly in the background for decades. This is not an argument for never upgrading your life. It is an argument for understanding what upgrades actually cost before you decide which ones are worth it. Some of them are. The apartment upgrade that significantly reduces your commute and stress might be worth $3,500 of future wealth. The subscription you forget to cancel 3 months after you sign up is not. The difference between spending money intentionally and spending it automatically is the difference between a deliberate choice and a trap. Let's talk about what Kevin does in year 3 because this is where the story gets interesting. Kevin gets a raise, not a massive one, $9,000. His salary goes from $65,000 to $74,000. Before he does anything else, before he tells anyone, before he even celebrates, he pulls up his brokerage account and increases his automatic contribution. He takes half the net monthly increase, roughly $310, and adds it to the $300 he was already investing. He is now automatically investing $610 a month. He does not upgrade his apartment. He does not look at cars. He does not add subscriptions. He does buy a nicer pair of headphones because he wanted them, and they are a single purchase that does not create ongoing obligations. Then he moves on. The distinction Kevin intuitively made is one that takes most people years to articulate. There is a difference between spending money and creating ongoing spending. A one-time purchase is a transaction. A new apartment lease is a commitment. A car payment is a commitment. A gym membership is a commitment. A subscription is a commitment. Commitments are the mechanism through which lifestyle creep becomes permanent. Because once you have the nicer apartment, going back to the older one feels like failure. Once you have the car payment, paying it off and going back to a beater feels like regression. Commitments lock in the new floor of your spending, and when your income eventually plateaus or contracts, which it will at some point, the commitments remain. Kevin understands this not because he is smarter than Sarah, but because he never had the raise that made the commitments feel justifiable. He learned by accident what Sarah had to learn the hard way. The commitments are the trap, not the spending. Here is the full picture at year 10. Sarah has gotten 2 more raises in the 5 years after year 1. Her salary is now $102,000. Each time her lifestyle expanded to meet the new income. Her apartment is now $1,800 a month. Her car lease rolled into a new lease. She has added several more subscriptions and conveniences. She feels most of the time like she is doing well. Occasionally she feels like she should be further ahead given how much she earns. She cannot quite identify why she isn't. Kevin earns $79,000 now after a second modest raise. He is not earning anything close to what Sarah makes, but he has been investing $600 to $800 a month consistently for 8 years. His brokerage account has crossed $90,000. His 401k, growing steadily, is approaching $130,000. His total investable net worth is approaching $220,000. Sarah's investable net worth, when you add her 401k and the savings she manages to put away, is approximately $180,000. Kevin earns $79,000 a year. Sarah earns $102,000. Kevin has $40,000 more dollars in net worth. This is the salary trap fully realized. Not because Sarah did anything wrong, because she did what everyone does. She earned more and she spent more at almost exactly the same ratio. Her financial life scaled. It did not transform. Scaling is not progress. It is just a bigger version of where you already were. Transformation requires the gap between what comes in and what goes out to widen. And the only time that gap widens automatically is when income goes up and spending stays still. Not forever. Not dramatically. Just for long enough for the investment to take hold. The question worth sitting with is a simple one. Think about every raise you have received in your adult life. Every bonus, every job change that came with more income. Add them up, roughly. Now look at your net worth. Is the gap between what you have earned in total and what you have accumulated what you would expect? For most people, it is not. Most people have earned significantly more than their net worth suggests. The difference is not taxes. Taxes are part of it. The difference is lifestyle. The life that expanded every time the income did. The floor that rose every time the ceiling did. The commitments that piled up so gradually and so reasonably that they never felt like a decision. Sarah is not a cautionary tale. She is the average. She is the statistical norm. She is what happens to most people who get what they worked for and then make completely reasonable choices with it. The fact that those choices quietly undermined her financial trajectory does not make her careless. It makes her human. Understanding the trap is the only thing that makes it possible to avoid it. Not willpower, not deprivation, not some kind of ascetic refusal to enjoy the money you earned. Just a system. Half the raise invested automatically before the lifestyle sees it. That single rule applied to every raise for a career is the difference between someone who earns well and someone who builds wealth. They are not the same thing. Most people only find that out when it is too late to change very much about it. You are finding out now. The next raise is coming. The only question is what you do in the 2 weeks before your lifestyle finds it.